Wednesday night, January 28th, 2015. Back from vacation, back home in Brooklyn, and we came home to a scandal. The meat scandal, the Heleb scandal, the butchers, the suppliers, the distributors. Nobody knows what's going on. We're hearing different stories. Before we move on to what we're hearing, what we're not hearing, what you can do and what you can't do, so let's look at some information that we could find regarding Heleb. Now, it's not an easy topic to find information about because the people that dealt with the Heleb issues dealt with it, and nothing was really written because it was learned and taught through apprenticeship. It's not something you could study out of a book. But certain issues came up at different times in different places. So before we move on to what I prepared to study, I want to read a question from a rabbi who happened to be in Prague, in the Czech Republic, in Tavshin Nuntet. Tavshin Nuntet was a short while ago. We're dealing with
20 years ago?
Yeah, nothing. 15 years ago. Okay? You're getting better, David. Okay, 1999. Here's the question. ליוויתי שני שוחטים בעבודתם בשחיטת בקר. I went and I accompanied two shohatim, two slaughterers, in their work in slaughtering meat. הראשון לקח מהחלק הקדמי של הפר עד הסלע ה-11, ואילו השני חילק בין הסלע ה-12 לסלע ה-13. מה יסוד המחלוקת בעניין זה? So the first slaughterer took from the front portion of the animal, of the cow, and he basically cut until the 11th rib. But the other slaughterer cut between the 12th and the 13th rib. So my question is, where is the source for the discrepancy over here? Why one guy says the front ends with the 11th and one guy says it's between the 12th and the 13th? Question number one. Second question. والجبية حلق الأحوري. Now regarding the hind section of the animal. أنا مبين كي منهج أشكنازيم شلو نكر الحلق الأحوري إلا لمخرو الجويم. I understand that the custom of the Ashkenazim is not to do nikur to the hind section, in other words, removing of the heleb, of the forbidden fat. Rather, take the entire back section, that hind section, and sell it to non-Jews. הגיע לפראג שוחט שלמד בישראל לנקר גם את החלק האחורי. But here, we have here in Prague a shochet that arrived from Israel. He studied in Israel, and he knows how to remove this forbidden fat even from the hind section. Are we allowed to permit him to sell this hind section or portions from the hind section to Jewish people? Or rather, must we abide by this minhag, this custom of not relying upon cleaning of the forbidden fat of the hind section and not eating it whatsoever? So these are the questions that were raised. Teshuvah, very, very small, simple teshuvah, but it will leave us with a lot to think about. יסוד השוני במנהגים בעניין זה נובע מתרפש הכבד. The difference has to do with תרפש הכבד, and we'll get to that, and I'm sure Mark will show us a picture, but we'll get to that in a minute. שהוא כעין מסך המפריד בין מערכת העיכול למערכת הנשימה. And this is like a thin film that seems to separate between the digestive system and the respiratory system. שאסור באכילה. And this portion, this film as we'll call it, is forbidden to be eaten. ויש להכירו, and of course it must be properly removed. התרפש משופע ביחס לסלעות ועובר במישור הסלעות 10, 11, 12 ו-13 וקשה להסירו. And this film seems to hang over and cling in a straight line over these ribs, the 10th, 11th, 12th, and 13th ribs. And it's difficult to remove it. And therefore, many just have the custom to, when they get to the 9th or 10th rib, that's where they stop, and they cut from there, and that's it, they're done. But those that go further still, until the 12th rib, and they rely upon their nikur, they're cleaning it out properly, even though it's difficult. And there is no isur to do this معكار الدين. بأشير لحلك أحوريش لبهما. Now regarding the hindquarters of the animal, على الأف شنهاجون لمخلوق الجوي من بيئات الكوش لنقيره. Even though the custom developed to sell it to non-Jews because it's difficult to clean properly, and can get a minhag, but this does not fall under the framework of a minhag. ومميلا إم يشنو ممحى هيودي لنقيره رشيء لنقيره. And if there is an expert that knows how to clean it properly and remove all the forbidden fat, then they're allowed to remove it and they can sell it and eat it, etc. This is this section. Now, as a footnote over here, they quote Rabbi Moshe Feinstein from Igrot Moshe, and he says, I see no problem whatsoever. It's not a sort to clean out the hind section and to do it properly. And
which part again, Moshe? Where's the
Igrot
source?
Moshe Yoreh De'ah Chelik Bet Siman Min Bet. Okay? Yoreh De'ah, volume 2, Siman 42. Okay? Any no eshum isur. דאף דלא נהגו במקומותינו הטבחים שוחטים לנקר חלק אחוריים לא נמסה שהוא מנהג שנהגו לאיזה חומרה שרק משום שהטבחים לא לעשו את זה בזה. Because this is not a minhag that was established because they didn't know what to do or because they wanted to create a humrah. It was just because the butchers didn't want to deal with it. But if you have people that know how to properly deal with it, it's not a problem. וכך מקובל מאדמון מלובביץ' להתיר also the Lubavitcher Rebbe also allowed it. Okay? In any case, I read something earlier, not in front of us, that in fact Rabbi Moshe Feinstein said that before he came to the United States, when he was still living in Russia, they always used to clean it, and he preferred those, those sections of meat from the hindquarter of the animal. And whenever he would have holidays together with his son-in-law, Rabbi Tendler, he would say, even though the food is delicious, it doesn't come close in taste and quality and texture to the meat we used to eat that was from the hindquarters. Okay, just keep that in mind. Okay, so now we're going to read from Nahar Mitzrayim. Nahar Mitzrayim, as we know, is a book of Minhagim of Egypt. It was written by Acham Nefael Haron ben Shimon, who was the chief rabbi of Egypt. Well, called Egypt, called Cairo more specifically, from 1891 to 1921. He published this book in Alexandria in 1908. Hilchot Heleb Vadam. המנהג פשוט במצרים, כמנהג עיר הקודש ירושלים תיבנה ותכונן, שאין הוא נמכר במקולין בשר שאין הוא מנוכר בשום זמן ובשום אופן. Because the manhag in Egypt, just like Yerushalayim, that no meat that has not been cleaned properly is sold at any place and under any circumstance. Cleaning, we're talking about nikur, about removing forbidden fat. ורק אחר שהקסב מנקר את הסלעות ומוסיף מהם החלב וכל האיסור שיש בהם, אחר כך מוכר את הבשר בחנות. And only once the butcher has completely cleaned off the ribs, okay, and removed from them all the forbidden fat and any other isurim, only then can he sell this meat in his store. וכן הכבד והטחול וכל דבר השריך ניכור לא ימכר בחנות בשום אופן כי אם אחר ניכורו. And this applies to the kidneys, to the spleen, and to anything else that needs nikur. Nothing can be sold until it has been cleaned. In other words, you don't sell it to a person, take home and clean it yourself. כי בלא זה יש חלילה וחס מכשול רבים. Because if this is not done, then basically you're putting major stumbling blocks in front of the people. והקסב העובר על זה ענוש יענש ועונש חמור. And if we find a butcher who transgresses this and sells unclean meat, then he's punished. ב' מטעם הניכור האמור פשוט המנהג במצרים כמנהג עיר קודשנו ותפארתנו ירושלים תבנה ותכונן שאין הבשר הנמכר במקולין לישראל כי מהחלק העליון של הבהמה. And because of the problems with cleaning properly, we only sell the front portion of the meat to the Jews. Okay? שאין בו הרבה חלב לניכור, because there's not too much חלב there to clean out. אכן, החלק התחתון של הבהמה אינו נמכר בחנות הבשר כלל, but the hindquarters is not sold in the store whatsoever. ולאשר חפש בבשר חלק התחתון לאיזה סיבה שיש לו, and somebody who desires the meat of the hindquarter for whatever reason it may be, מחפש אחר מנקר אומן אם ימצאהו ויוליכהו לביתו ושם ינקה לו בשר אחורי הבהמה. He has to go and search out a professional cleaner and take him to his house and clean it over there. והוא יחוש לעצמו, and let him worry about it for himself. אכן ינקר חלק התחתון ומוכרו לרבים, but to sell the hindquarters and sell it publicly, חלילה. It's not happening. אין זה מצוי במצרים ולא ימצא. Cannot find it in Egypt and it will not be found. Yeah. Now he goes on to explain. ופעמים רבות דרשו כמה מהקהל מאת בית דין הצדק במצרים הכין עליה אלוהים לראות אופן לניכור בשר האחורין ומוכרו לרבים בחנויות כי נחשפה נפשם לאכול בשר תאווה הזה. And many times certain individuals from the congregation went and asked from the Beit Din, find us a way to set up proper nikur of the hindquarters so it can be sold in the butcher shops because they really have a desire to enjoy this, this special meat. But we were not able to find a way to give them what they want. For different reasons. And now he goes on to explain what these reasons are. In Egypt, we eat a lot of meat. Okay? Other places didn't eat a lot of meat. In Egypt, a lot of meat was eaten. And it's all behema gasa. In other words, it's all cows. Cows, bulls, etc. And there are more than 10 butcher shops. 10 kosher butcher shops he's talking about. Okay, now he printed this 1908. Okay? So let's say we're talking 1900. Just imagine to yourself what we're talking about. Okay, these are the butcher shops of those selling kosher meat. Where we're going to go and find professional cleaners? Where are we going to find these people that know how to do nikur properly? For each and every one of these stores. And we have 10 stores now. In a few, the way things are going, population explosion, we're going to have more butcher shops and we're going to need even more of them. Where are we going to find them?
What was the population?
1900? 1900 was probably about just Cairo, we're talking about maybe 25,000. Yeah. I could check exactly if you really want to know. But even if it's let's say 18,000. It's a lot of people.
Yeah, sure.
And they're only eating behemah gasa, he's telling you. In other words, goats and lambs were, really weren't eating. They ate beef. Now, there was some, lamb eaten. I'm not going to say it wasn't eaten at all. It was eaten, but in much less of a proportion. بيت زمان الشحيطة بمصرين هو أحار حصوت لعولام. The time of doing shahita in Egypt is always after midday. והבשר נמכר ליום המחרת בבוקר. And the meat is always sold the following morning. וקודם חצי היום כבר תם ונשלם כל הבשר מן החנויות. And before midday, all the meat is sold out. ואם כן, כל מלאכת הניכור מוכרחת להיות בלילה דווקא אור הנר. And therefore, when are you going to do the nikur? When are you going to clean it out? It has to be all night long to candlelight, basically. ודעת לנאבון נקל כמה מכשולו יעשו מניכור כזה. Now, any person with a brain in his head can just imagine to himself what kind of problems are going to occur. People staying up all night, they're exhausted, and they have minimal light to work with. بإيشون ليلة. وفيها مبان سريخين لهيوت نعوريم هم منكرين روب هالليلة. They're going to have to stay up most of the night. كي هالو كل حلق وحلق مع حوريها بهما يزبط زمان أروخ لنكروه. Takes a very long time to clean the entire hindquarters of the animal. والحطيت أحار جديها نشاء, and to carefully go in, okay, and basically you're pulling out like a needle from a haystack each part of the gita nasheh. ולפתוח כל חתיכה וחתיכה מהבשר ולשים منها חלב שבתוכו שינקתו מהחלב הכליות כידוע למבין מלאכת הניכור. And to go inside and to carefully open up each piece of meat to get in, because the halib is not only on the outside, it also, the veins, if you want to call it veins, basically you have like strands of this halib that go inside the meat, so you have to carefully cut inside and go after and clean it out piece by piece. And only if you know what halib is and what nikur is can you understand the hard work involved over here. وزهو الدوار شفتح مخشوطها فتوحين عوانيم. So basically you're opening up a can of worms, he's telling you. You're looking for all types of problems if you want to do this. כי אם אתה ינקרו אחריها בהמות אשר במפורת יוסף בהמות הנשחטות כאשר הם משלושים ועד 40 ליום. They do 30 to 40 animals a day. Okay, حول ليوم حول 30 to 40 cows. Okay, حوز معلم شبات قودش في يوم توب شسرخيم كفلاين. And when it comes to Heleb Shabbat or Heleb Yom Tov, then you need at least double that. Wow. At least 80 cows we're talking about.
Wow. Well, they were eating meat all week.
Yeah, in Egypt they eat meat.
I wonder where Joey came from.
I wonder. وبديكات 20 أحوري بهيموت جسود بالليل أحد ودوار نمنع شيمسها كل كدين. And to do 20 in one night is practically impossible to do it according to the deen. Because how's it going to be done? How can you do it? You know how many menakkirim you're going to need? Where are you going to find those people? All these people need to be experts in what they're doing. You can barely find one. In the whole country, you're going to find a whole slew of them? جيمل هالدوار برور لخول مبين من ملاخة النيكور شيء إفشال من أكير إحاد لزبون ملاخة النيكور هو بدو. Anybody who understands the work involved in nikur knows that it's impossible for one menakir to do this work all by himself. كي عبودات النيكور ربات التورح مئود, because it is very tedious and tiresome. There's no way a person can avoid mistakes. And especially when there's pressure upon him when he knows a lot of people waiting to buy the meat. ועם כן, ועל כן rather, גם בעיר קדושנו ותפארתנו ירושלים תתבנה ותכונן, שיש חנות אחת קטנה למנקרי חלק אחורים הבהמה דקה, תמיד הם שנים מנקרים. And goes that even in Yerushalayim, where there is only one small store that does nikur of only behemoth daka, in other words, of only goats and lambs, they don't deal with cows at all. In that one little store, okay, where they hardly eat any meat, okay, and it's only behemoth daka, they have two menakirim. אחד מנקר והשני בודק אחריו. One cleans out and one checks his work. ועל הרוב גם הוא ימסע חתיכות חלב שנשמטו מיד המנקר הראשון. And generally he always finds pieces that the first guy left behind. וזה ברור ומאין נוכל להספיק מספר מנקרים ובודקים לכל החנויות של הקסמים ישראל. So there's no way we can get the amount of menakirim and bodkim, people that clean and people that check, for all the Jewish butcher shops. ונודע כי סתם קסב חשוד הוא להקל בניכור כי הוא חס על ממונו. And we can't rely on the butchers to do this work because the butchers just want to sell. They want to make money. So we can't rely on them. We have to have other people doing this work. מפני הפסד הבשר של הניכור שהולך לאיבוד, because if he doesn't clean it properly, then he loses out. He's stuck with meat that he has to give away to a goy at a cheap price. So he's going to tell every person, yeah, I cleaned it well, it's good, take it home and pay me $top for it. ויחסר משקלו הרבה, ובלא בודק ומשגיח על זה, אי אפשר להאמין להקסמים. So now you need the menakir, and you need the bodek, and maybe you even need a mashgiach on top of them, you know, because you can't rely and you can't believe the butcher. ודי לדעת מהות הקסמים מדברי רבותינו זכרם לברכה שאמרו טוב שבטבחים שותפו של עמלק. Okay, and recall this saying of the Hachamim that who said that the best of the butchers is the partner of Amalek. טוב שבטבחים שותפו של עמלק.
Because they're all mafia, yeah.
Basically. על אחת כמה וכמה הרע שמבטחים הלא יהיה רבו של עמלק בבירו. And now let's think about the worst of the butchers. He's not the partner of Amalek, he's the rabbi of Amalek.
Not much has changed in over 100 years.
Not much has changed. No, not much has changed.
It's nice to see a Chacham inject some humor in his
All the time. Our Hachamim knew how to write.
Should we have show and tell about the geese?
ונהרנה כי בעיר קדושנו ותפארתנו ירושלים תתבנה ותכונן אשר נודע בה שרת דוחק הבשר וגם מפני השרה הסרורה ומיוחדת במינה שהייתה שורה בירושלים מקדמת דינה להיות כל הבשר נמכר לכל תושבי ירושלים תתבנה ותכונן רק בחנות אחת דווקא מפני הגבילה ולרוב דוחק העניים, ספסן יוד, רוב דוחק העניים שאין ידם מסכת לקנות בשר בתוך דוחק כזה והסריך גם כן מתנת יד להקסרים בסתר למען יזכהו בנתח בשר אפילו שעצמותיו מרובים יותר מרירה ועורקה וגידיו שיש כהן ההוא. Because, and it was, this is what was going on in Yerushalayim. Now we know it's very, very difficult. You have to recall, Yerushalayim that he's talking about was basically strictly the old city, okay, tight place. Most of the people were living in really destitute poverty. It was hard to get meat. All the people, all the Jews of Yerushalayim could only buy meat from one butcher shop. There was only one butcher shop, and that was set up that way because of something called the Gabila. Gabila was a special tax. And because there were so many poor people, basically the butcher wasn't really selling meat. He was selling bones and skin. There was nothing else to give them. Okay? And basically you'd have to find a way to give, to give bribes, if you will, to the butchers to at least deal with this situation. למען יזכהו בנחת בשר אפילו שעצמותיו מרובים יותר מרידה ועורקיו וגידיו שיש כהנה מהו. עמד עתר אושר מרן אבא זכר צדיק וקדוש לברכה. So now you're saying my father, Acham David ben Shimon, got up and he did something. What did he do? הוא פתח חנות קטנה למכור בה בשר אחורים בניכור תחת השגחתו, כי הוא, זכותו יגן עלינו, היה אומן מופלא ומומחה בניכור דבר פלאי. He went and opened up a small little store to sell hindquarter meat that he supervised because he was a noted expert in removing all the Heleb and all the forbidden things in a wondrous way. וסכום הבשר היה כערך 20 רוטלס לשבוע. And the amount that we're talking about 20 pounds for the week, approximately. וזה רק עבור העניים. And he did this strictly for the עניים. ושני מנקרים עשה אחת לניכור והשני בודק אחריו ומחטט. And he set up what we read about in the previous paragraph, that there's two menakirim over there, one to clean and one to check and clean out any remainders. And even with all this, there were still problems. וגם הוא, זיכרונו לברכה, חזר בו והתחרט בסוף ימיו על זה. And even him, my father, he's talking about, he basically redacted at the end of his life, and he was very, very, he felt bad about this entire thing happening. He thought he was going to do something good, and he saw that in the end, that couldn't be good either. כי עם כל השגחתו היתרה עליהם יום יום, ועם היותם שיניים מנקרים, בכל זה תמיד נמצא בניכורם עוד חלב גמור. Because with all his coming to the store every day and checking on their, great work, in the end there was still pure halib involved. ופעמים רבות הענישה, and many times he had to punish them. וכל זה ללא הועיל, and even that didn't help. כי המלאכה היא עבודה קשה, because it's difficult work. ובפרט בעת הדוחק ורבים קוראים כמובן. And of course, because you want to get the work done, because you want to give it to the people who need it. ואם זהו בעיר הקודש ירושלים תתפנה ותכונן, אשר כל אכילתם הוא בשר בהמה דקה, אשר חלק אחוריה הוא קטן מאוד. And if now we're talking about Yerushalayim, they were only talking about behema daka, okay, in other words, a light animal like a goat or a sheep, that the entire backside, the entire hind side of the animal is much smaller than the hind quarters of a cow or a bull or a bison or what have you. ulmad ba'asara mikal v'homer, okay, la'obim Israel, asher ein ba ahad mikol ille. And now go think 10 times Kal V'Homer regarding Egypt, who are not dealing with the same type of condition at all. Ha'ahat, one, ki ein kan dohak b'basar. Okay, there's no problem getting meat. Ki yotem ma'asara hanuyot ish ben Purat Yosef. There's plenty of butcher shops, at least 10 right now. B'chol ha'basar me'behema gassa, אשר טרחת הניקור מרובה כמובן. And all of it is coming from בהמה גסה, like we said, cows, bulls, steer, whatever it may be, that obviously the work is much more. שנית, כי אין בית דיננו יודעים מלאכת הניכור היטב כדי להשגיח על מנקרים, because our beit din does not know enough to come and supervise the menakerim. Basically, he's telling you we didn't have people in the beit din that dealt with this. The beit din was he was basically on his own most of the time. שלישית, כי אין זמן להשגיח עליהם, כי הבשר נשחט בערב ונמכר בבוקר. There was no time to even supervise because it's killed in the afternoon and it's sold the next morning. So basically, it was all done all night long, as he said. והניכור יהיה בלילה כמובן. רביעית, fourthly, כי צריך מנקרים הרבה כמספר הקסבים. And you need numerous מנקרים. שאי אפשר להעמיד רק בית או שלושה מנקרים בשתיים ושלוש חנויות ובשאר לא. You can't put, okay, we're going to set up just 2 or 3 butcher shops for hind quarter meat, for filet mignon, etc. Because what's going to happen? שאם כן, יהיה זה כפוח פרנסת הקסבים האחרים, כל אחד יקנו מהחנויות האלה בשר. Because everybody's just going to go buy from those 2-3 butcher shops. And why they're going to do that? כי הקסרים לא ייתנו בשר אחרי בהמה העולה עליהם ביוקר, כי הם לקונים מהם גם חלק העליון. בנושא שהקסמים האחרים נתקפחה פרנסתם. Because if you, Barry, you're a butcher, okay, and a guy comes into you, I want to buy, that hind quarter meat. Who are you? You're not my regular customer. You don't buy regular meat from me. I'm not selling to you. So the only way you're going to be able to buy this better stuff from the back of the animal, you have to now become a regular customer of his for him to be selling you those pieces. So basically, if we set up just 2 or 3 butcher shops that are selling the back end, we're basically putting everybody else out of business. So we can't do that. It's haram. We have to look out for people's livelihoods. Not like over here in Brooklyn where people spread rumors about butchers to try to put them out. It's a fact. כי הקסבים לא ייתנו בשר אחרי בהמה העולה עליהם ביוקר, כי אם לקונים מהם גם חלק העליון, ונמצא שהקסבים האחרים נתקפחה פרנסתם. ועוד יש סיבות אחרות אשר אי אפשר להעלותם על ספר. And there are many more reasons I cannot write down. והבקיא באופייה של מדינה יבינה מעצמו. And anybody who knows the workings of this city, of this country, can figure it out on their own. There are all types of things going on.
Sounds very capitalistic, though.
What's very capitalistic?
Yeah, that's the way it was set up. They had a lot of...
Obviously, business is business.
Business is business. That was very good.
It's not like that now there?
Same thing.
The markets?
No,
Of course it is.
Yeah, it was the 1900s.
Yeah,
but
but
no.
back then,
Same
It's not like
market.
it is today. In the Middle East.
no.
ועל כן, אמינה ולא מסתפינה, אשר במצרים הוא דבר נמנע וקשה להנהיג ניכור בשר אחורים למוכרו לרבים ולא בתפוצות ישראל ששמענו ונדעים אין להם בשר ניכור למוכרו למקולין חלילה מפני מחשבותיו הרבים. And here in Egypt, there's no way this is going to happen to sell, hindquarters and do nikur, etc. as needed. And as far as I know, goes in most Jewish communities of the world, you cannot get this type of meat. והאיש אשר יזיד לפרוס גט בזה, and the person who's going to try to, push the issue and try to do something about this, מלבד כי הוא פורס גדרם של הראשונים כמלאכים ששמשו בקודש מישראל ולא נודע, לא נשמע בימיהם היטל זה. Forget about the fact that he's basically, brandishing himself and saying I'm better and I know more than all the other hachamim that were here, for hundreds of years, and I could do better than them. עוד בהרי הוא מכשיר את הרבים באכילת חלב וגיד הנשה וכולי ועוון הרבים תלוי בו. There is no doubt in my mind that he's going to end up causing people to do grave sins of eating גיד הנשה and חלב. בשרו עליו יכאב וכאב אנוש ונעקר. And not only that, his own flesh is going to end up hurting him and killing him. וכל ישראל נקיים Hayim v'kayemim. But we know, Bnei Yisrael, the clean people, the living, the everlasting, وإيش براتي ويحيد أشي نفسه تأفي بصر تأفازك. And if there's an individual who wants to have this kind of meat, he has a great desire for it, Harishu biyado. He has permission. Lahabi lo minakir tokmeto. Go, bring a minakir into your house, and worry about yourself. Don't get other people involved. But for other people, no way, no how. And enough is said. بعين بقرهتين سمان سمخ دالد سعيب زين مش كتاب ديش لحمير شلو ليخوض بصار أحوريم كي أفلم مراء جدول كي أفلم دان جدول إنه يخوض لبارين هدبار هتيب يعون شان. Basically he's telling you it's a tough thing to do. Now we're not even dealing with, back to our situation here in Brooklyn, we're not dealing with the hindquarters. We're dealing with what's going on with the ribs. Whether now we're talking about the 9th rib, the 10th rib, the 11th rib, the 12th rib, as we saw in that teshuvah from B'mareh Bazak, it all depends which rib we're talking about. So from what I understood when I spoke to Rabbi Aluf about this, is that these are Hungarians. And the Hungarians have a minhag that they go a little farther on the rib than other people may go. And as we saw in that teshubah, that one shohed did until this point, and other shohed did until that part. So there are different minhagim, if you will. But if you're not going to be able to clean it properly, that's the problem. Now, what else did Rabbi Aluf tell me that he found out from mashgichim and rabbis of this process, is that it's not even Jews that are doing the nikur. They have Mexicans that they taught, and the Mexicans are cleaning out the heleb, and nobody. And the answer that they got when Rabbi Aluf asked them, "Oh well, it's a difficult thing, and this is mass production, so we do the best we can."
Nobody's supervising them?
In supervising, they don't check every piece though.
Wow.
Wow.
This is what they told Rabbi Aluf. This is what he told me.
So this Heleb is
Steak fries.
Doraita.
Heleb, listen.
Even if it's
Last time I looked, open up Vayikra, yeah, it's Doraita.
no, but he said
Open up Peragim out of
So
Vayikra.
which part of it? You're saying it's on the rib?
From what I'm understanding is the rib, and that's why it affects.
What's the lining of the rib? To the,
I don't know. I didn't see pictures. I can't tell you exactly.
So I'm trying to. What's
Okay, but from basically, if we're dealing with veal pockets are from the rib area, and if we're dealing with these skirt steaks, it's also coming from that bottom rib area. So yes, it makes sense that that's what it would be.
so that it's lining the abdomen, though? It's the ribs, the inside of the rib?
I don't know enough to tell you.
Okay.
I don't know enough. Now, what I understood from other people that I spoke to is that some people were finished studying Masechet Hulin, and they were studying Shehita, and there was supposedly one of the top-notch Shohatim and Menafkerim from Yerushalayim. They were in town and they were reviewing things with him. They said, okay, let's go to the butcher and let's see. And they went to I&D, and I&D said, yeah, come inside, come see whatever you want to see. I'm more than glad to help you guys, you know. And the guy walked in, and lo and behold, there was Heleb there. You know, the butcher doesn't know about these things, at least as far as I would guess, is the butcher doesn't know, because he receives the meat from the distributor. It already has the OU on it, it has other things on it, and he got it. And I don't know that I have to clean it anymore, you know, because I got it cleaned. It cleaned it, it says cleaned on it. So the problem is coming from the distributor. It's not the butcher that's at fault. So they found this problem, and that's how this whole thing erupted out. Now, I did my own fishing on the internet, and it seems that there have been problems with this particular distributor for a while. And there's different problems from time to time with different distributors. And there's always people trying to rectify it, but because it's a major industry, it's hard to. Yeah, the answer is do something small scale with experts involved, experts that really care, people that are Yirei Shamayim. It's hard. So if we're dealing with the front of the animal,
Video. Yeah.
okay, basically you have this part of the animal that you're using. The rest, half an animal. You're tossing it out, you're selling it to a goy below market cost. So they want to get as much as they can out of it, and they want to try to move onto the animal as much as possible. So whether you look at this picture, or you look at this picture, which is already, all this is already X'd portions over there, and showing you what pieces you can get out of the animal, you're losing out on a lot. Now, from other things that I was able to,
Pass it around.
you can pass pictures around.
And so the reason we don't eat that back half of the animal is because
It's difficult to clean.
Same
because of the Heleb.
Everything that we just read from the Han Mosseri.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay?
Alright, makes sense.
Okay. Now here's the interesting thing over here.
This one? That one? That one's better. Yeah.
I'm gonna read something to you.
We don't eat sirloin, yeah?
No. No sirloins, no porterhouse, no T-bones, all NG.
All the good stuff.
Supposedly good stuff. We haven't tasted it. We don't know.
And Rabbi
T-bow's
Feinstein
no
said
good?
they used to eat which part in Russia?
They used to clean the hind, then eat it.
I agree, T-bow's no good.
They said each person, you know, as long as you had
T-bone.
people doing it,
Then we're in pain.
right.
I'll share it with the group.
Now listen to this. Many are very concerned about the current status of Nikur in the United States. May we accept in the broad sense the Minhagei Nikur that was being utilized in certain specific areas of Europe as the standard for everyone in the USA? There are the Minhagei Yisrael, which was set up by Rabbi Yehoshua Leib, among others. Minhagei Ashkenaz, I don't even know what this says, V'chadume Sfarad, were some of the accepted minhagim for the majority of those currently residing in the USA. May one accept or even certify a nikur that is not all-encompassing of all the accepted minhagim? No. This minhagim Satmar, Salem, Past, Ungarin were not the same as all of the other countries. When Glatt started in the United States, the only ones that ate Glatt were the ones from Ungarin, in other words, Hungary. And now in the USA, all of the ones that use Glatt are from all the other countries that had different minhagim and nikur. There is no justification for the purveyors of Glatt, their certifiers, to accept a nikur that does not encompass all of the minhagim. More so, it's interesting to note that the Satmar butcher shops, who are the only ones that perhaps could have accepted that type of nikur, the Hungarian nikur, because the Satmar are Hungarian, they do not accept Hungarian nikur in their stores.
They're better than their fathers.
Because they know there's problems with it. Now, here's the parts that have an issue of nikur of Heleb. The short plate, the back ribs, the breast, certain chopped meat, skirt steak, hangers, tenderloin, ribeye steaks, rib roast large, back ribs, ribeye, chulip meat, basically. No, the parts that don't have a problem, here you go.
Just don't touch it.
Here's the parts that don't have a problem. Chuck eye roast, French roast, arm pot roast, cross rib pot roast, blade roast, 7-bone pot roast, flanken style ribs, short ribs. Short ribs are good. Yeah. Boneless shoulder pot. There's your shoulder for your friends. Boneless top blade steak, brisket, neck, shoulder, shank, and arm.
What about oxtail?
Oxtail is a problem too, according to this list, but I didn't read about that. Now, there's something called, I don't know what it is, I haven't been able to find out, but something called the Shimon Mendelowitz Nikur. Okay? And this encompasses all of the accepted minhagim. Okay, so if you could find that type of nikur on your meat, then it's, acceptable according to all the minhagim. That's number one.
Who's writing it?
Somebody from Lakewood. I don't know. He won't disclose his name. There was something else over here. Something that's called Rosenblatt's beef. And this Rosenblatt beef, forget about it has Hashgaha of the OU and the CRC of Chicago. It's entirely staffed by highly experienced yeshiva staff. Standards of the staff for Shahita, Bidika, Nikur, what a bin Torah would be looking for, it says. But only for the beef, there's not enough information about the veal and lamb. Now, you, Ralph, you were saying earlier something about Sephardim. So he's saying over here, Sephardim should be aware that much of the Beit Yosef beef they are using is not Beit Yosef. In fact, it's only Beit Yosef based upon the label that they put on the package. Okay, whereas the Rosenblatt beef meets true Beit Yosef standards. Okay? Now, supposedly the Beit Yosef stuff that's good is Solomon's, Fischel's, and Kiryat Yoel, and Teva Beis Yosef, whatever these places are. Go ahead and find them. But bottom line is you're dealing with problems of karet. Yes, eating Heleb is an issue of karet. You have karet for eating Hametz on Pesach. You have karet for eating on Yom Kippur. Two things that any, even somewhat religious Jew, fears drastically. So how come Heleb people aren't up in arms about? How come they're not doing something about it? We don't know.
It's in the butcher's hands.
No, they don't know what, they never heard the word Heleb before. Okay, I had an older guy came into the store today. Joey, what's going on with the meat? What's this? What's going on?
You come to Michael's?
Oh, you never heard of this place, Michael's. Anyway, so I told him what it is. He goes, yeah, I know what it is, but what's going on? I go, what's going on? And people never heard of this concept before. He goes, yeah, I even called my brother. My brother's 90 years old, he's telling me. And I'm trying to explain to him what it is. No, we ate fat in Heleb. He goes, yes, you ate fat in Heleb, but there's different words for fat in Arabic. So, telling you, yeah, we ate fat. The fat we ate was din. Okay? But this we're talking about Heleb. Heleb is shahab. Anybody who understands Arabic and knows, some sort of animal anatomy would know exactly what we're talking about. So it's a different type of fat. So once I told my brother those two words he's telling me, he began to, remember a little bit. But he's 90, so he forgot a lot. So people don't know. It's not an issue that they've dealt with ever.
They didn't need to deal with it. It's the butchers.
The butchers dealt with it. Exactly. You bought,
says OU, says it's a kosher butcher.
it
You
says
go buy
kosher,
it.
it's kosher. Exactly.
You're not going to check what you buy.
It would be good if you had somebody there to check the distributor, though.
So
So that you imagine the guy.
You go check the mafia.
So where do we stand?
No, you could clean.
So where do we stand? I told you, Rabbi Luf said the problem is only with the veal pocket and with the skirt steak until further notice. That's number one. Number two is that any other meat you bought, is fine. Even if you have a veal pocket, or a skirt steak that you cooked already, well, safek, had halib, safek, it didn't have halib, safek, it was part of the issue involved, it's really part of the animal, safek is not, safek it's from that distributor, safek is not from the distributor. There's a lot of safekot involved, so you could stay with what you have. Okay? But you can't buy fresh unless you're going to take it to him. Okay, go and bring the minute kid over here to come and remove it. Otherwise, take it back, give me my money back. But to go and destroy the guy's parnasa, if you always use the IND, for example.
Did he change his distributor?
No, he's not changed. As far as I know, he didn't change any distributor yet. But I'm not positive. I can't tell you. I didn't ask him myself. So let's say one of the people that they're bad-mouthing right now is IND. Okay? And you're a regular shop by IND. You can still go there. Go to him, give him business like you always gave him business. You just don't buy these two things until further notice. If can be cleaned up and
Is he
straightened out.
selling these two things still for
I don't know.
notice?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I can't answer you. Barry, any idea?
Me?
You said you placed a large order the other day.
Yeah, but she didn't buy skirt steak or any veal.
Okay.
So, beef veal pockets. So,
All right, so
yeah. She
Until
tried.
further notice.
until further notice. I know Rabbi Aluf is working on it, in fact, together with Hacham Yosef Raful. They're trying to get something done. So now, on another note, there, outside of the community, there seems to be, years ago, I remember hearing from certain people, people that prayed in Bnei Yosef and people that were tied in with Rabbi Ben Oliel from Mikdash Melech, that they would not use any of the community butchers and they would order meat from outside, from the Midwest.
Cleveland.
Not only from Cleveland, from Texas, from Detroit, from different places.
We did it
Okay,
once.
I know you did it. I know. Basically, what would happen is different people would call and place an order and place an order, and once the guy had enough orders that it would constitute an entire cow, okay, then he would stop accepting orders. They would do the shehita, and they would come to somebody's front lawn and drop off bags of meat. Am I right or wrong?
Yes.
Okay? Now, I haven't seen this happen in many years. Last time I saw it happen was the early 90s. I haven't seen it since. Maybe it still goes on.
Panama Free Zone.
No. You just imagine a truck coming in, okay, and just dropping off bags of meat on a lawn. Come and get your meat.
If the pit bull doesn't get it first.
Yeah, basically.
Yep.
Okay, put that on the side. Another thing that I found out in my investigation this week, there are shohatim and menakirim that are working low-key, privately, to get better cuts of meat and hind-quarter meat. You're paying premium prices, but supposedly it's top quality and under hashgaha of Rabbi Eliyahu ben Hayim from Queens.
Oh. Yeah,
The Wayu guy.
the Wayu guy.
The way you got. I don't know who else supervises. I don't know to what extent. I'm still trying to find out more
I'll
details
give you
about
back
it.
for that.
Let me work on it, okay? And supposedly, some people in the community already are buying that meat, and they say it's very good quality. But we need to find about the kashrut first, before the quality. So, it's a tough call. We have a lot of great butchers in the community. Whether it's I&D, whether it's Sassin, whether it's Prime Cut, even if it's Moishi's, okay? Or you have... over here, Marglot, you have Pomegranate, you have, who else? What are the...
King's
King's
Highway.
Highway. Okay, you have...
Aviglar.
It's not Aviga, I thought they changed the name also.
Okay.
Shleimies.
The Shloimis over there on Cornell Avenue. No. Aviga, whatever. Whatever it is, there's a lot of butchers. I honestly do not think, from any of them I've met over the years, I don't think they're out there to cause us to eat non-kosher. You understand? They're not involved with the meat directly. They're getting the meat. So it's the suppliers.
Merchants.
They're getting meat from the distributor. Okay? So if there's nobody on the supplier level, and the supplier is, providing the meat to them with reliable hashgaha, so you can't blame the butcher.
So OU is the problem, he's saying.
It may be. I don't know for sure. I don't want to point fingers because I don't know.
How many years there's this problem with the mass production of meat?
Yeah. Well, we've always had this problem with chickens as well.
Yeah.
Okay? When you're doing shehita with chicken, okay, or any shehita, you have to check after each killing.
The blade, right?
Okay? But over here they don't do that. If you go, let's say, to mass produce kosher empire chickens, they don't check it after every bird.
So there are some people that won't eat that either. It's very, very difficult.
Everyone's gonna go vegan.
Nobody's going vegan. Nobody's going vegan. Do me a favor. I don't know.
Certain community rabbis became vegetarian because of this, no?
I don't know. I don't know any.
Who, you?
Not many.
I can't tell you that any community rabbis that went vegan because of this. No.
Not because of this, I don't think.
I don't buy it. You have anything to say?
No, as your dad.
You're not in the community.
Is he vegetarian?
No. Honestly, I don't know. There's no easy answers. Our problem as a community is that we've never been organized as a community. We have no ahdut. We have no bit din. We don't have the rabbis working together. They are not teaching shehita and nikur to our own people. They have not set up a Sephardic kashrut authority in the community to pursue this or the kashrut of other items, whether it be for year-round use or for Pesach. We have a problem. We are one of the world's greatest communities, quote unquote, but at the same time, we have no unity in this community. See, we're a bunch of commies. That's what we are. No, really, it's a problem that we have. I don't know what the answer is. There's a lot that needs to be done. A lot, left to be desired. So Ezra School.